In the headlines, federal government secures release of 100 abducted school children in Niger State. Obasanjo slams lawmakers' unjustifiable salaries, calls for principled leadership. Taraba Governor Agbu Kefas to join APC in January 2026. Hello and welcome to S24 News. I'm Zainab Bala. Here are the details of our major stories. The federal government has secured the release of 100 pupils kidnapped from St. Mary's Private Catholic School in Papiri, Agwara local government area of Niger State. The school attack on November 21st saw 315 people abducted, including 303 students and 12 teachers. Earlier, 50 pupils had escaped, leaving 265 still in captivity. Security forces carried out operations across Niger, Kwara, and Kebbi states to secure the release, and authorities say efforts continue to free the remaining abductees. Now, Olusegun Obasanjo has fired a fresh warning shot at Nigeria's lawmakers, blasting their huge earnings as unjustifiable in a country where many live on the official minimum wage. Speaking during a virtual interview on the ongoing review of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, Obasanjo rejected the idea that the document itself is to blame for governance failures, instead pointing to those who operate it, arguing that lawmakers have flagrantly overstepped, setting their own salaries and allowances in violation of constitutional norms. He compared the current legislative budget to that of 2007, the year he left office, describing the rise as huge and surprising, and calling the lawmakers' extra running cost allowances and benefits unjustifiable, given Nigeria's economic realities. The former president said constitutional reform remains necessary, but stressed that laws alone won't fix Nigeria. The real change must come from honest and principled leadership. Now, Agbu Kefas, governor of Taraba State, is set to formally join the ruling All Progressive Congress APC in January 2026, according to confirmation from the state chapter of the party. The governor had initially planned to hold his official defection in November 2025, but postponed the ceremony after the kidnapping of schoolgirls in Kebbi State, saying that the timing would have been insensitive amid national security concerns. At a press briefing in Jalingo, the state's APC chairman said Governor Kefas has already been admitted at ward level and that over a dozen members of the Taraba State House of Assembly, including the entire state executive council, have also defected. Moving on, the Miners Association of Nigeria has rejected proposals to suspend mining activities across the country, arguing that a ban would neither solve security challenges nor help legitimate miners. In a statement, MAN warned that such a dip in unemployment and poverty could even empower illegal miners and criminal groups. Now, in a related story, this evening we turn our focus to the artisanal mining communities of Karshi in the Federal Capital Territory, where thousands dig through hazardous terrain in search of gold that seldom brings meaningful reward. Despite an estimated 21.3 metric tons of gold deposits across Zamfara, Kaduna, Kebbi, Kwara, Osun, Bauchi, and Abuja, many local miners earn as little as 2,000 naira a day, risking exposure to toxic mercury, unsafe mining shafts, and increasing attacks from bandits who now dominate parts of the mining corridor. For more on this investigation and the human cost behind Nigeria's neglected mining sector, we now join our correspondent, Amina Yuguda, who has been speaking to miners and community leaders. Take a look.
Despite abundant natural resources, Nigeria's mining sector accounts for less than 1% of the country's GDP. There's an estimated 21.37 metric tons of gold deposits across the country in states like Zamfara, Kaduna, Kebbi, Kwara, Osun, Bauchi, and Abuja. The Presidential Artisanal Miners Initiative is intended to help local miners have a better quality of life. But here in Karshi, Abuja, local artisanal miners are not feeling the impact of government.
Akwai ramukan ma yanzu da sun gagara leburori shiga su saboda ramuka ne damuna ce sun riga da sun fada. In ba a mai da hankali sukan danna sauran wasu 'yan adam a wajaje.
The miners dig up to 9 feet to find soil sediments with gold deposits. They then move the sand to a sluice box. The sluice box is covered with a carpet to trap the gold and separate it from the less dense soil. As the water runs through the sand, the gold sinks while the lighter materials wash away.
Zai koma jajjawar kuma muna kona shi ne da abin sigari sai mun sa mai abin sigari mun kanannade shi sannan za mu samu leta ko wuta haka sai mu kanga shi jiki in mu kanga shi jiki zai koma jajjawar shikenan za a iya kai shi kusai market a je a auna shi a narka shi kawai a ci gaba da amfani da shi daga nan har kasar waje.
Ibrahim has been washing sand here for over 15 years.
Idan mun wanke shi za mu kada mu gani in mun ga akwai to sai mu ci gaba. Idan mun ga kuma babu nan za mu kara gaba kuma mu bincika wani wajen.
He spends hours washing through sand in hopes of finding flakes of gold that may never make him rich. On a lucky day, he earns 30,000 naira. And other days, he gets as little as 2,000 naira. It takes him up to 3 months to gather 1 gram of gold. A gram of gold is roughly the size of a grain of rice and weighs as much as a teaspoon of water. Pushed by global demand for gold, foreign mining companies have moved in. As the price of gold rises globally, miners in Kershi get little benefit from the boom despite their back-breaking work. They toil relentlessly, getting scraps from a commodity that enriches dealers and businessmen. These miners find themselves caught between rising international demand and a harsh economic reality. Wealth flows upward, leaving them behind.
That is a very interesting report. I'm sure you find that interesting as well. Moving on, the Nasarawa state government has kicked off a 39 billion naira project to build 2 flyovers and 2 roundabouts along the Maraba-Yanya corridor of the Kefi-Karu highway. Governor Abdullahi Sule said the project would ease traffic for commuters linking Abuja to other parts of Nigeria. Contractor Tata Nigeria Limited is expected to complete the 2-kilometer flyovers in 18 months. Senator Ahmed Ali Wadada and other officials hailed the project as timely and informative for the community. Our correspondent Zainab Ibrahim has more.
The Nasarawa state government is set to spend Naira on constructing 2 flyovers and 2 roundabouts in Maraba, Karu local government along the busy Maraba-Yanya corridor of the Kefi-Karu highway. Governor Abdullahi Sule, during the groundbreaking ceremony at the building materials market, emphasized that the project addresses the persistent traffic challenges for commuters connecting the Federal Capital Territory to other parts.
2 roundabouts under the flyovers. The first roundabout is going to be on the right at the Abacha road. That's where the roundabout is going to be. After that, we are also going to have another roundabout at the Technology Village Junction. That one is going to be another major roundabout that is going to do. But the most important aspect of what you are going to see across it. So that is the idea of what it's going to be. So it's going to be flyover, rest highway, flyover, rest highway, and then going down.
The governor highlighted that this is the 7th intervention by the state government on federal highways and expressed confidence that the Tata Nigeria Limited will complete the over 2-kilometer flyovers within 18 months. Zonal Manager Fersen Dao assured that the project will be delivered on time and to high quality standard. The groundbreaking also drew remarks from Senator Ahmed Ali Wadada, who commended the governor's development focus and urged the federal government to establish a commission for the development of state border in Abuja.
That bill seeks to establish a common coffer. That is the bill to establish FCT Catchment Area Development Commission. That bill is to create a common coffer which will see to the federal government or the agency to be established to take and complement the responsibilities of the contiguous states to the FCT. One of the objectives is what we are doing today.
Officials, including the Managing Director of Nasarawa State Urban Development Agency, the Chairman of Karo Local Government Council, and the SO of Karo, praised the project as timely and impactful for the community.
Moving on, young innovators, development partners, and government agencies converged in Abuja for the Social Entrepreneurship Day 2025. The event, organized by the Coalition for the Pact Nigeria in partnership with Mind the Gap, focused on this year's theme, accelerating the sustainable development goals through alternative funding strategies. Now to our reporter, Samira Usman Adam, who covered the event.
Young innovators, development partners, and government agencies gathered for the Social Entrepreneurship Day 2025, organized by the Coalition for the Pact Nigeria in partnership with Mind the Gap. The event focuses this year's theme, accelerating the sustainable development goals through alternative funding strategy.
Be consistent in whatever you're doing. That's actually what helps with funding. And then finally, whoever is going to give you money is a human being first, before their organization. So build relationships. I think a lot of times we don't keep those relationships sustained long enough for it to yield for whatever it is.
With Nigerian social enterprise ecosystem expanding rapidly, conversations around sustainable financing have become more crucial than ever. Stakeholders highlighted that achieving the SDGs require more than traditional grants. It demands innovation, partnerships, and new funding models.
Government will have to depend on civil society organizations like yours, like mine. But they also cannot find you if you don't belong.
One of the major takeaways that we hope to achieve from today's event is to make sure that people are more aware of what the Pact for the Future is about and how they can contribute to it. For young innovators, I think that, like it was mentioned in one of the sessions that we had earlier, it's important that people come together to collaborate how to get the money here, because people don't really know about how to go about it. Apart from raising funds for maybe friends and families and a few people don't know the procedure, because there are many people that are out there that want to fund your dream, that want to fund your vision, that want to fund your goal. But people that are going about this, they don't really know how to go about it. So people need to learn the procedure for raising funds. We need to do research on targeted organizations that are willing to invest. Because trust me, if company A is not willing to invest in you, company B is willing to.
Participants from across Nigeria shared their experiences, stressing the need for access to finance, mentorship, and supportive policies to scale their solutions.
This event, I had absolutely no clue about all the things you just mentioned, but coming here, I've been able to hear about a lot of things. I also learned that in order for you to seek alternative funding, you first have to learn how to master your funding. And I felt personally targeted when she asked if we had to ask people here how much they spend in a month, would they be able to give accountability for that? And the answer to that, personally, the answer for me would be no, because I don't know how much I spend. But after today, I'll be able to learn how to master my own funding and find a way to be more accountable about everything I do. So,
as an entrepreneur, we're always looking for ways to find funding to grow our business, and that's one of the main themes of this program: funding, and then networking, and then how you're able to utilize your network, you're able to utilize your connections to grow whatever you're working on.
The event, which was supported by key institutions including the Federal Ministry of Youth Development, the Office of the Senior Special Assistant on SDGs, and SMEDEN, showing a united commitment to empowering young change makers as the SDG countdown continues today for driving the solutions that will shape Nigerians' future. Samira Usman Adam reporting for S24 Television.
The Asholio community in Abuja has celebrated the 6th edition of the Mam Asholio Cultural Festival with renewed emphasis on unity, cultural preservation, and women's empowerment. The annual event marked by vibrant traditions and strong communal spirit.
How can we safely support our young people? And it's not only sending them to school, because I always say we will develop their skills. Very, very important. But beyond developing their skills, what do we need to do? We need to create jobs. We need to partner with government and NGOs and private organizations.
I think this will foster more unity among the Sholio people, especially the youths that don't have really interest. They don't have interest in these kinds of things. The Gen Z, especially, they call themselves. They don't have interest in culture. This will encourage them.
Yeah, but I advocated a lot with governments. Women have to continue to advocate for the interests of women. Women have to continue to advocate for market access, financing, capacity building, land ownership for women. That is the only way that we can participate fully. We also need to talk about inclusion, even at leadership level. You cannot have women at the grassroots in the boardroom. We need to be on the decision makers table to tell them exactly what we want and then to help in implementing and to making policies for this.
Seeing people coming together in mass, working in one voice, society will not grow without unity. If there is no any unity, there will be chaos in society. As young people, we will have to contribute to see the growth of this society. We have to give, especially the young one, opportunity, to excel.
The issue of insecurity is a global issue, and Kaduna State, Southern Kaduna, and Morowa community is not an exception. But what we try to for at family level, we should try and ensure that get the right education, our youth get the right skills, and if we're in position, we should attempt to empower the youth.
You day, and you cannot sit down and that leadership will be given to you on a platter of gold. You have to rise up, you have to stand up, and you have to look for where you will stand as a leader or as a youth. As strength as you are as a youth, if you have been empowered, if you take the bull and become who you want to be by yourself, definitely society have no hope, they have no choice than giving. Future can come at the platter of gold. You have to rise up.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We now take a short break. When we come back, S24 News continues. Stay with us. Platforms. Now, moving on, from January to September 2025, 9 banks earned 2.81 trillion from non-interest income, a 24% rise from last year. Banks like Access, Sterling, and Wema saw improved fee and commission revenue offset forex losses. Analysts say future profits will rely more on interest income and growing non-interest businesses. As Nigeria prepares to roll out its 2026 tax reforms, there's growing debate about whether the new policy truly sits well with citizens, especially with questions around who will be taxed and who is exempt. Beyond the headlines, many
is coming to an end, and 2026 is just a stone throw. And this 2026 is packed with a lot of new laws. One of it is the taxation law. Citizens will be asked to pay tax by 2026. In respect of this, today, we're going to find out from citizens, how do they feel about their new realization? And if they are ready to pay tax, is the government even listening to the perception of the citizens before executing this act? Let's find out.
I don't think it's a very good idea because we're already going through a lot in the country. So the government now trying to impose another law on us citizens. It's not a good thing. So in my opinion, I think if I have the power, to talk to the masses, bring out everybody to talk, get to make the government understand that this is going to affect us already. I'm the youth for crying out loud, so I know what we are going through already. So now bringing another reduction of money on us, no, it's too much now.
About the tax that they are going to increase, I'm not in support of it because of the situation, the insecurity of the country. So I'm not in support of it. The government should suspend that action. That is my own opinion.
This issue of this tax of 18 that the government is planning to add next year, so for me, I'm not happy because of the way the country is now. We will be running scatter to see where where we go to train our children. The one where we dey get sef never even reach us. And they wan come say add another one next year. How we go take survive am? For me, I no dey happy o. Make government know wetin dem go do. That one wey dey plan to bring next year, me I no dey happy about am o. So let them do something that to make all of us to be happy. No be small change wey we dey get again. Me na taxi man I dey do. I dey pay buy ticket here, buy ticket here. Dem wan come say add another one next year. Kai, Nigeria make una work on our head o. Because we dey suffer well well. If una carry some join am again, the thing go hard us well well. Please Nigeria, all of us na same country o, but make una help us. Make we see wetin we fit dey chop with our family.
According to the government, they say from 2026, all Nigerians will start paying tax. Well, my own opinion, if they are going to use the tax judiciously, fine, I have no issue about it. But whereby they don't, that's where the issue becomes. I'm having serious doubt. 99%, I don't believe on the government, on what they say. But let's just give it a try. But to me, I don't believe it. But let's just give it a try.
Now, following the growing concerns and confusion surrounding Nigeria's 2026 tax reforms, and after hearing public reactions in our earlier report with our correspondent Zainab Ibrahim, we now turn to an S24 television explainer that breaks down what the new tax law truly means for everyday Nigerian.
If you're a Nigerian taxpayer, the rules just changed in a big way. Beginning in January 2026, the new tax laws will hit your wallet differently depending on how much you earn and, crucially, how much rent you pay. Gone are the days of consolidated relief and personal relief. These were automatic tax breaks that every worker used to get. From January 2026, Nigeria will instead offer rent relief. This means that 20% of your annual rent can be deducted from the total amount of tax you are supposed to pay. Here's how it works. So far as the 20% of your annual rent is not more than 500,000 naira, you get a 20% deduction from the total amount of tax you pay based on your rent. This tax break does not, however, apply to homeowners. If your rent is 1.5 million naira yearly, you get 300,000 naira in relief. That's 20% of your rent. But if you're paying 3 million naira rent, you still only get the maximum 500,000 relief, not the full 600,000 you might expect. The first 800,000 naira you earn is now completely tax-free, up from previous levels. This tax overhaul is designed to ease the burden on middle and lower income Nigerians while asking the wealthy to contribute more to national coffers. Whether you're celebrating or calculating how much more you'll pay, one thing is certain: Nigerian taxation just got a major makeover. And understanding these changes could save you thousands or cost you, depending on which side of the income divide you're on.
There you go. And now in sports, the federal government has begun charging entry tolls at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, effective Monday, 24th November 2025. Under the new policy, motorists pay between 500 and 1,000 naira to access the stadium. Cars and buses, 500 naira, trucks, 1,000 naira, while stadium vendors are charged 300 naira. Certain vehicles, including government cars, ambulances, fire service vehicles, and National Sports Commission vehicles, are exempt. Authorities say the toll is part of a revenue strategy aimed at improving facility management and security. However, the move has sparked debate among sports fans, civic groups, and commentators, many questioning the fairness of the fees and how the funds will be used. Still in sports, the storm is brewing at Liverpool FC as club chiefs meet to weigh up whether to drop their star forward from the squad travelling to Italy for Tuesday's UEFA Champions League showdown with Inter Milan after Salah's blistering post-match remarks that he was thrown under the bus. Despite training with the team on Monday, the 33-year-old remains in limbo as the club prepares to announce a final decision. And on the international scene, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz in London today to discuss the latest peace plan aimed at ending the war with Russia. The plan, drafted during recent US-Ukraine talks in Florida, has drawn mixed reactions, with former US President Donald Trump expressing disappointment that Zelensky has not yet read it.
To make some important decisions. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for organizing this discussion, and thank you, Vladimir, with us together with Frederick. I think we all support Ukraine, and we all support peace and peace negotiations to have a sustainable, robust peace. And I think we have a lot of cards in our hands. The financing and furniture of equipment and training programs to Ukraine, the fact that Ukraine is resisting in the war, and the fact that the Russian economy is starting to suffer, especially after our latest sanctions and the US sanctions. And now I think the main issue is the convergence between our common positions, Europeans and Ukrainians, and the US to finalize these peace negotiations and re-engage a new phase in the best possible conditions for Ukraine, for the Europeans, and for our collective security. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, for having us here in 10 Downing Street in London today. I highly appreciate that we are having the opportunity to see you, Volodymyr, together with Emmanuel, and talking about the upcoming days, because this could be a decisive time for.
And in entertainment, Nigerian singer Burna Boy is facing backlash after ejecting a fan who appeared to be stepping during his North American tour in Colorado. The fan who attended the concert, following a personal loss, said she was mentally and emotionally drained. Many fans criticized the singer for publicly humiliating a paying concert tour. Burna Boy later addressed the incident, saying he felt disrespected but acknowledged he wasn't always right, offering what some called a conditional apology. The incident has sparked debate about artist-fan boundaries, audience etiquette, and respect at live shows, with promoters reporting lower ticket sales for some of the remaining tour dates. Now, Desperados kicks off Festive Clock, the Vibe campaign across Nigeria. Nigerian Breweries is kicking off the festive season with its Desperados Clock the Vibe campaign across Nigeria. The campaign, targeting young audiences, launched with a homecoming party and will feature at major events, including Dirty December Fest in Lagos, Davido's 5 Alive National Tour, and December 14 in Abuja, and Flytime Fest 2025 from December 22nd to 25th. The initiative aims to connect young Nigerians through music, nightlife, and cultural experiences, showcasing top Afrobeat stars like Olamide, Davido, Asake, and Flavor. Senior brand manager Onyebuchi Alana says the campaign is designed to bring energy, creativity, and color to the holiday season. That's it on S24 News, but before we go, here's a quick recap of our top stories. Federal government secures release of 100 abducted school children in Niger State. Obasanjo slams lawmakers' unjustifiable salaries, calls for principled leadership. And Taraba Governor Agbu Kefas to join APC in January 2026. And that's it on our bulletin for tonight. I'm Zainab Bala. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay with us across our social media platforms. salaries and allowances in violation of constitutional norms. He compared the current legislative budget to that of 2007, the year he left office, describing the rise as huge and surprising, and calling the lawmakers' extra running cost allowances and benefits unjustifiable given Nigeria's economic realities. The former president said constitutional reform remains necessary, but stressed that laws alone won't fix Nigeria. The real change must come from honest and principled leadership. Now, Agbu Kefas, governor of Taraba State, is set to formally join the ruling All Progressive Congress APC in January 2026, according to confirmation from the state chapter of the party. The governor had initially planned to hold his official defection in November 2025, but postponed the ceremony after the kidnapping of schoolgirls in Kebbi State, stating that the timing would have been insensitive amid national security concerns. At a press briefing in Jalingo, the state's APC chairman said Governor Kefas has already been admitted at ward level and that over a dozen members of the Taraba State House of Assembly, including the entire state executive